top of the morning, and it is a beaut.
And the hope of the Irish as the future champion of the world.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio.
Welcome to the Barry J. McDonald podcast. The place where dreams get dusted off and acted on. Because life is too short, we're living on a rock that's flying through space, and hey, what the hell else were you going to do with yourself here?
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. Now, today I want you to do me a big favour. I want you to be you. I want you to be you in your business. I want you to be you dealing with your customers. I want you to be you in your content. Basically, I want you to be you. Because what the world needs right now is you. You know, we don't need you to be a clone, a copy, a replica of someone else. We basically need you to be you because although you mightn't see yourself as unique, you might just see yourself as just another face in the crowd, you're different than everybody else. You look at things differently. You talk differently. You think differently. And that's because of the way you were born, the way you were brought up, whatever country you were raised in. That's the way you see the world, and that's the way you see life. And even though sometimes, you know, you might think, well, maybe I shouldn't get into blogging, or I shouldn't get into writing fiction, or I shouldn't get into doing YouTube videos, or maybe something where everybody else is doing it, because you think, I'm just going to be another face in the crowd. You're not. You are going to be different. Now, a lot of people, unfortunately, come online and they try to be someone else. You know, they hear a podcast and they try and be that podcast host. You know, have the same guest, have the same layout, and hoping that it's going to be as big a success as the other person. And sometimes it is, and sometimes it blows up in their face because people see them for what they are. Just a knockoff, just a replica, a copy. And you'll never be as good as the original. Because the original is the original. You know, you can't buy probably an original piece of art for next to nothing. But you can surely walk into the souvenir store and you can buy a photocopy of it. You know, an imprint of it. And again, too, you know, an original is always flawless. No matter how good or how close you think you are to the original, you'll always be a step behind them. You'll always be an idea too slow. They'll always be ahead of you. You'll always be playing catch up. So no matter how much you try and be like someone else, you can't. You'll always be behind them. And again, when you think about it, it's a waste of your life to impersonate someone else. You know, to come to the end of your life and say, well, I didn't live my life. You know, I didn't do the things I wanted to do. I did all the things that my hero did. I just wanted to be like him. When you find those people that are probably our heroes are people who did their own thing, didn't follow anyone else. You know, they walked out their own route through the jungle. You know, a lot of us sometimes when we try and copy other people, it's because we're scared. It's because we're afraid of making our own decisions. You know, for example, maybe years ago before Arnold Schwarzenegger got into bodybuilding and got into, you know, playing film roles. Now that he set that path, I'm sure a lot of other bodybuilders says, well, I'm going to be like Arnold. I'm going to win some championships. I'm going to build my muscles and then I'm going to go off to Hollywood. But like he was one of the first early ones to do it. So he worked out his path. He knew what he wanted to do. And for you to come along behind that person, well, it means you're not really taking those risks. You're not really kind of kicking the ball ahead of you and hoping that, you know, the goalposts show up and they just score that goal. So there's less risk if you're taking the same route that someone else has taken, because somebody has already cut that path out. They have made the mistakes. Now, sometimes we can benefit from that. Sometimes, you know, you are stupid if you make the same mistakes as someone else. So if you can learn something from someone, yeah, surely do that. But if you're kind of cloning your life on them, going through the exact same route, it is a safe route. And you'll never be as successful as that person. And you'll never bond as much with your audience because you're not being you. So stop trying to be someone else. Maybe if you are trying to be a copy of someone else, a blogger, a writer, podcaster, YouTuber, whatever. And how about just being you? Because the more that you're being you, the more we'll recognise you in the crowd. The more you'll stand out. Because when you're being a replica of someone else, you know, you can guarantee that you're not the only person who is trying to be a replica of that person. So basically, even though you're trying to be different, you're just standing in a group of clones, a group of replicas. So be yourself today in your content, be yourself in your business, be yourself on your podcast, whatever you're doing, because what we need is more original people. We need more of you and less of everyone else. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Before you go, Barry would like to give you a free copy of Words to Wealth. In it, he's going to show you 10 ways to make money from writing. Head on over to writecome.com now for your copy. Have a great day and come back soon.